What's going on, Falcon fan? It's your boy Ricondo come back at you with another video. And guys, it has been a really good 4 days of camp, right? From what I've heard. Unfortunately, I was not able to make it out there this weekend. Um, I be honest with you, the first on Saturday when I was supposed to be out there, I actually overslept, so I didn't make it on time. So sorry about that, but I will be out there Tuesday, first day of paddock practice. So I can't wait to see who anybody's going to be out there. Can't wait to see you guys out there. However, I want to thank all the Falcons reporters, content creators that's been keeping everybody updated on what's been transpiring out at the Flowery Branch training facility for the Atlanta Falcons. And from what we've been saying is it's all good stuff, man. All good stuff. It's not all positive, which is also really good. What you really want to hear when you're talking about the Atlanta Falcons. So you gotta like the direction the team's going on right now. We have heard from assistant general manager and Kyle Smith. We heard from Terry Fontenot. We heard from Arthur Blank. We heard from Jeff Albrecht today. Um, Dwayne Ledford as well. We heard from some of the coaches. We heard from so many other players and things like that. How's training camp going? But guys, it's just getting started, so they got a long way to go. But all positive things going on right now. Even when you don't hear some positive things, I think that is a good thing, and I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. We had our first camp fight already today, and guess what? They haven't got it passed yet. So it's supposed to get more physical here soon, and we already got people scuffling. So you like what you're hearing so far around camp, and we're going to talk about that. So, guys, with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys are here to talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can hear me talk about. That's right, these Atlanta Falcons. So, guys, the first thing we're going to talk about today um, is the fans, right? We're going to talk about the fans. That includes myself, of course. We talk about the fans, and um, I want to shout out us. Just want to shout out the fans, the Falcon fans, right now, because of so much optimism going into the 2025 season because of the moves that Atlanta Falcons have made over the last couple of years with the draft picks. Got a lot of young talent on this team, but I think going in with the Michael Penix Jr. is I think that's probably one of the biggest things. We got a young quarterback in, potentially be the franchise quarterback for the future. So when you're looking at that, I think the you know the fans are just bringing it, man. Like I said, I'm so upset. I ain't gonna lie, I was so upset on Saturday. I woke up late and realized I wasn't gonna make it to the game, make it to the trip to practice on time. So, um, and it just sucked, man. Then the day I went out there again because it had already sold out because I hadn't planned to go in today, but I would have went, but it was already sold out. So I was like, man, so just couldn't be out there. But I'm definitely gonna be out there Tuesday. Mark my words, I will be out there on Tuesday, first day of paddock practice. But the fans, man, I think we showed a lot of support to this team. We got up a lot of belief in this team, and so shout out to all the fans that's come out there represent this team, giving them that that positive motivation for those guys can put on the show for us, and cause that's what it's all about, man. Doing it for the city and trying to bring a championship to the Atlanta Falcons. What's going on, Lisa? I was there for training camp day one and day two. The vibe was high. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. And I saw the videos and stuff. So like I said, shout out to everybody that giving us coverage that's people that's not out there. Dave Archer gave his the live that they gave him yesterday. I appreciate that as well. But man, I got to get out there. Usually I go to two or three training camps every year. When they have it, and I haven't been out there yet. But it's just 4 days, so I will be out there. So, but shout out to the fans, man. It's that's what it's all about. That's why these guys, do what they do. They do it for the city, and they represent it. They represent all us, and we try to give them that motivation One thing about Atlanta Falcon fans, though, um, it, it's a lot of fair weather Falcons. So if they start losing, the fans will go away. I do know that. Not me. I'm a diehard Falcon fan, so I'll be there, win, lose, or draw. But you know, when the vibes are hot like this, they need to strike it. You know, they say what's the old saying? Strike the match while it's hot or whatever. That's what they need to do. So if they can do that, that would be great. So shout out to the fans, man. I just had to throw that plug out there because we represented this weekend, and like I said, just 4 days. But keep doing what you're doing, guys, because they appreciate it, and it's hot out there too. And for all these people to show up, and I've been watching people's out there early too. You got to get out early. Seems like to get you a good seat or whatever, but. Um, with that being said, hopefully, I see some of you guys on Tuesday, um, because that's the next practice. Of course, they got tomorrow off, so Tuesday, and that'll be their first day in pads as well. So, let's see what it's all about. All right, all right. So, shout out to the fans. All right, next thing to talk about, guys, is the offense and defense so far. So, this is from the reports, right? Because I haven't seen anything, so I'm just going by reports and what we hear the coaches talking about and stuff like that, players and coaches, and of course you guys. Lisa said the NFL Network had me and some other fans on TV yesterday. See what I'm saying, man? I just missed out on everything. Missed out on everything, but that's okay. Like, hopefully, um, I get to see some good stuff next week, this week coming up. So that would be awesome. All right, but guys, so for an offense and defense, right? So apparently yesterday, the offense did not do so well, right? So a lot of drop passes, a lot of like drop putting the ball on the ground, and what I heard was the offensive players was pretty upset about it, and when I heard that, that really made me smile, and I hope it made you guys smile as well because you know third day of practice and guys are upset because they're not executing like they know they can, right? And when you think about that, they care, right? Because they want to be perfectionists. They want to be good. They want to bring, like I said, get to the playoffs. I heard Chris Lindstrom say he has never been to the playoffs. Probably one of the best guards in this league. He's never been to the playoffs, man. It's just when I hear stuff like that, I feel bad for the guy because he's so good. Don't get recognition that he deserved because he's never been to the tournament, man. And that's what it's all about. Just Jesse Bates, right? Had his opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, and haven't sniffed the playoffs since he been to Atlanta. One of the best players, Caden Ellis, probably one of the most underrated guys in the NFL. Don't get his due because he's never been to the playoffs. You know, Bijan Bijan Robinson said right because he told us how to correct this name, how to say his name. Um, you know, he has never been one of the best, offensive players to ever be on the football field. And he only been in the league. This is going to his third season, so you know, it's a lot that when you look at you know these guys and being upset on the third day. It just made me smile, man, because I just like that. I like that. And, when they say that Drake went out there and ran every route of every pass he dropped after practice, right? Because he wanted to get it right. You gotta love that kind of stuff because they perfectionists, and that's what it's all about. They have that whole Mamba period. With Raheem bring that in the Mamba period, right? You think about Mamba mentality and Kobe Bryant, and you hear about the blackout time that he used to do. He do practice 3 times in one day, and Karan Butler talking about this blackout. And you about to because you work so hard till you about to black out, right? And that's the mentality that these guys trying to bring to the table. And one thing that Terry Fontenot mentioned, what was interesting is that they're not talking about it this year, right? Because that's what you do. You go out and be like, yeah, we're going to be really good this year, and we're going to win this many games and all that stuff. But then you don't produce. So instead of talking about it, just go be about it. Your actions got to speak louder than your words. What's going on, T Terry? That's what it's all about. So yesterday when they were talking about the offense, um, I had a lot of turnover yesterday, a lot of drops, and they said the defense won the day. And talking about defense, that made me smile as well, right? Because that's where we really want to see the strides and want to see it really get good is where the defense is going to shine, right? So that's what we're talking about, and it goes back and forth in camp because I think today, if you listen about where he talked today about offense was hitting on cylinders again today, right? Mike Penix Jr. throwing the ball out around the field, Kirk Cousins throwing the ball around the field, and you listen to Jeff Albrecht, it seemed like the offense won today. So offense, defense, that's one good thing. But when you're looking at, the offensive side of the ball, all his weapons, I think so far, it's been intentional to get Kyle Pitts the ball. Um, he's distributing the ball just like a point guard, like he should, around the field, getting everybody involved. Um, Offensive line is intact. You gotta like it. So from an offensive side of the ball, you like what you're hearing out there, and I think right now, just 4 days in, they're right where they want to be. Um, Lisa says, but John was really frustrated yesterday with the offensive performance. He said he know they can do better. It was better today. Exactly, exactly. And like I said, all those guys was kind of frustrated. Um, I think they reported that Drake dropped the ball and threw his helmet down. And like, man, it's just a third day, But that's what you like. You like that kind of frustration because you can be better. You could do better. I listened to Ray Cloud today talking about, learning how to catch Michael Penix's ball, right? Because he got that arm on, he threw it hard. And then the spin is different because he left-handed. And you go back to last year, one of Michael Penix's interceptions was off Ray hand, right? Because it hit him in the hand and it popped up in the air because he couldn't catch it. Same thing happened to Kyle Pitts. So, they talk about the three interceptions he had. Two of the interceptions hit the receiver in the hand and they got picked off. So that chemistry that they're trying to develop is good, but it's just the third day. So I like them being frustrated. I really do. I'm telling you, I don't want to hear everything is going good and good for the offense because I mean the defense is not performing as well. So you want to have every other day one of the defense and the offense wins, and that's some of the stuff that you gotta like, right? So from an offensive standpoint, not so good yesterday. Heard today it was better today, right? Michael Penix throwing the ball on. They had a red zone period today. Um, Everybody's, like I said, he distributing the ball to not just one person all around the field. So you gotta like that. Um, so I'm not really worried about offense, to be honest with you, because I know the talent there. I think the one thing that has me so easy about offense is the offensive line because they so intact, right? We talk about Ryan Newsel, and like Terry Fontenot mentioned, um, got 11 starts with this team, right? So it's not like he's coming straight out. And they went 5-3 when he was in last year. So that just lets you know that you know he is solid. He can contribute. He can contribute to winning. Um, they went 5-3. You got to remember, we only won 8 games. So we're 5-3 Ryan Newsel and really won 8 games. So that tells you a lot about Ryan Newsel. So I just like the fact when we talk about offense, the offensive line is is really, really good. I think we got one of the best offensive lines in the league. It's really, really good. And then those pieces that you got around Michael Penix Jr. It's like when you have a young quarterback, because sometimes young quarterback goes to team where you know they might be the best player on the team and they have to carry the team. In this case, Michael Penix not necessarily have to carry the team. He can just be part of all the pieces that's there, and they can elevate the team. not carry it. So that's what I like about it, and that's why I'm not worried about offense. Now let's get to the defensive side of the ball. Um, so we know the defense won yesterday, but today I don't want to say it's a loss because I heard a lot about guys getting pressure. Um, James Pierce Jr. It's wreaking havoc out there, causing problems, causing scrimmages, little scuffles going down. Right, I think he got into it with three offensive linemen today: Ryan Newsel, Matthew Bergeron. I think Matthew Bergeron kind of fiery as well because he got on it in minicamp. So I think he kind of fiery. Then Caleb McGarry, Big Caleb. So you already like um, Jeff Albrecht talk about creating a culture there, right? So the culture is, and his whole knock about the Falcons being soft, right? That's what they're trying to stop. And then when we had Matty Ice here, it was all finesse on the offense side of the ball. That's where all the money was. That's where all the points happened, right? And the defense did look kind of soft, right? I always talked about. You guys go back to some of my other videos. We talk about an AFC North type defense, right? But it's just nasty, right? That's what you want. And if we can bring that nastiness to the defensive side of the ball, right? I think Jeff O'Brooke said it: go to the line and don't cross the line. And if they could do that, I think that's going to bring dividends for this team, man. They all young, um, so the defense has really shined a lot. One thing we heard about is turnovers, right? We saw the little clip with Jeff Ulbrich talking about peanut punch, right? And then here, Mike Hughes had a big day yesterday, not getting not two balls out, punching two balls out yesterday. So the emphasis is going to get turnovers. It's good. You go look at some of the best teams that was in the playoffs last year. They plus or minus, turnover ratio was on the plus side. So you want to be able to create turnovers and give your offense back the ball, and don't turn the ball over. That's one of the things that Atlanta Falcons really have problems with. In the last couple of years, especially from the quarterback position, turn over the ball. So that's one of the things we got to focus on. But creating turnovers is really what's going to be huge for the Atlanta Falcons. And right now, you see that is the emphasis, right? We hear about the peanut punches and stuff like that that's happening. Um, Shout out to Mike Hughes. I think he's been playing really really good so far. Um, so James Pierce Jr. is wreaking havoc. We heard about Rook. Rook, I think Rook. They said Rook bulldozed the guy today. Getting to quarterback, put a sack on Kirk Cousins. Um, all positive things you're hearing from the defensive side of the ball and the aggression. And guess what? The exciting thing about all this, they're not even in pass yet, right? Because that's when the physicality started to tick up, right? That front seven on both sides, the trenches on both sides of the ball haven't really even gotten into training camp yet because they ain't got pass on. So the physicality hasn't even reared its head yet, and you already seeing glimpses of it. So that's what really, really makes is what is exciting for me when we start talking about the defensive side of the ball. The names you're hearing, another name you're hearing is Khalid Kareem, right? Older guy, pass rusher, but he's been really, really playing well. So this is the time of the year where some of those unknown, unsung guys don't start to make name for themselves. So you kind of like that, but the defense, you see the change, right? One thing I like what Jeff Ulbrich saying is it's not going to be that complex, right? They're going to do what they can do because they want to be able to attack, right? They want to be able to get guys to move fast. Hey, this your job. This is what we want you to do. We want you to get out to the ball. We want you to get upfield. We want you to do this, right? You want to be able to have guys like Divine Diablo going sideline to sideline, utilize his skill set, his speed that he got. You want guys like Kay Nellis to be able to use the versatility he has, being able to rush the passer, being able to play that middle linebacker. So those are some of the things that we want to see from a defense side of the ball. And then listen to Jeff Ulbrich. It's going to be different, right? What we saw last year in a Jimmy Lake type defense is not what we're going to see from this type defense, right? And it's probably going to be more simple, right? And that's what you like. Get so some of these um, comments here. We got T. Terry said James Pierce Jr. is looking like the next young LT. Yeah, he wreaking havoc, man. We wreaking havoc. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Michael Penix Jr., brother, just stay healthy, 100%. Um, just and then say Kirk Cousins can be a coach one day. The way he talks, yeah, Kirk Cousins, man, he's such a pro. Listen to his interview today. He's gonna be good for this team, man. And hey, I give myself kudos for this because I talked about this when everybody was talking about get rid of him, get rid of him. I said he will be a good backup. I said he will be a good backup because he's not going to be a locker room cancer. I think he's going to be a good teammate, and he's going to get that number one defense prepared because he's so methodical in his professionalism that he's showing. Um, being that second string quarterback is going to pay dividends because right now, they have the twos going against the number one defense. So Kirk Cousins is going to get those guys ready. But you're 100% right, man. The way he talks in interviews, you can't hate the guy, right? Even though some of the crap he did last year kind of pissed everybody off, but you can't hate the guy because you love what he did. So you're right about Kirk Cousins. But guys, so far going 4 days of practice, really the fifth day of camp, but 4 days of practice. Um, you like the direction the team going in. It's not perfect, right? Like I said, we have seen, heard some mistakes and stuff like that, which is that's fine. That is fine, right? You like I said, you want guys to be frustrated. You want guys to be disappointed in their play and how they're not getting the job done and things like that. That's what you want to see. So, shout out to the offense and defensive side of the ball. This 4 days into camp. All right, next topic. It's kind of touched on this when I was my last thing, and I was talking about camp standout. What's going on, Millie Mills? But camp standout so far. So, from what we heard so far, um, MPJ Michael Penix Jr. has really looked as advertised, right? Um, he's putting that ball there. He's showing the skill set that he has. You like to see that. You like to hear that. So that's good. That's really really good. What we're hearing from about Michael Penix Jr. Right? But some of the guys, other guys that we want to talk about is um, Nature Books. David Steele's been really been good with Kirk Cousins. That chemistry that he's developing with him. Casey Washington as well as another name. I talked about Khalid Kareem, a guy that's been running with the ones and twos and pass rush, right? Since Braden Trice is still trying to make his way back. So we talked about Mike Hughes. Mike Hughes had a really good day yesterday, getting the ball out on the ground. So those some of the camp standouts. Kyle Pitts on the offensive side of the ball, another guy on the offensive side of the ball has really been a good standout. So those are some of the camp standouts. One thing we're going to find out during this camp, and what we all find out every year, somebody is going to make a name for themselves. Somebody that we don't know about is going to make a name for themselves and actually make the roster because of the way they playing, right? We talked about DeMarco Hellams a couple years ago, the way he played in preseason and things like that. And right, we talk about Ryan Newsel, we talk about D. Alford, we talk about some guys that didn't get drafted and they made a name for themselves and now, play prominent roles with this team, in some years that's out there. So you got like to see some of these camp standouts. The guys that you don't really have to talk about. I talked about Michael Penix Jr., but that's what you expect, right? Kyle Pitts, because the chatter from around him all offseason to be about him, but him to coming in and the intentionality for him getting him the ball is really going to be good. So that's one thing you like to hear. But some of these rookies, man, We talk about rookies. I'm talking about 24 and 25 class. Brandon Dorlus, we talk about him busting up plays. Like we talk about James Pierce Jr. busting up plays, Rook Roro busting up plays, right? Now, we didn't talk about Jalen Walker today because word on the street, he did not practice. Jeff Albrecht said he's all right. They was working on some of his body, so we'll see on Tuesday if he'll be out there when they get into padded practice. So we're not too concerned yet, but that's one of the things that we got to look out. Our new addition, DJ Chark, a guy that they was going to work out. Besides the fact that Darnell Mooney is going to be out for 2 or 3 weeks, right, because of a shoulder injury. But DJ Chark coming in, a veteran, a guy that can take the stretch the field, something that Michael Penix Jr. loves. So they just create more competition in that wide receiver room as well. So that's going to be, I think, we start getting to more into camp. Those camp battles are going to start intensify. They really are, because it's only 53-man rosters, and you start doing the breakdowns. And you could do this as a science project yourself. How many wide receivers they're going to keep? How many defensive backs they're going to keep? Right? Edge rusher, defensive linemen, linebackers, and you start to try to eliminate and see how many people is going to actually make this team, right? So that's where it starts to get kind of tricky, right? And then you want to make sure you don't cut a guy that another team can poach your player, a guy that you want to keep, think you're going to bring him back on the practice squad. So have to be careful with that. But when you talk about camp standouts, start looking in the next 2 weeks, and we're going to start hearing more names. So I can't wait to see how that's going to work. Billy Miller said, "Man, how many rookie edge guys? I don't know, man. Like it's crazy, man, because we got 3 right now. You Trice, Walker, and Pierce, right? You got those 3 guys, and then you have Floyd and Irma Ebiketie. So that's 5 guys. All right, right now, those 5 guys should be locks to make the roster, right? That's what I'm thinking. But then you still got, like I said, Khalid Kareem, who's really been shining so far. D'Angelo Malone been dual hatting between middle linebacker and edge rusher, so he's another guy. So I think they might keep 5. That sounds about right when you're talking about edge rushers. But maybe 6, right? We'll have to see if they decide to keep 6. But if they keep 6 edge rushers, that means you're going to lose another number somewhere else, because you can only keep 53. So that's what's going to be interesting to see. DJ is young. He's still on 28. Yeah, and what was interesting, listening to him today, he was talking about he was almost about to call it quit, because he keep moving his family. You can understand that 100%. You can understand that 100%, right? Keep moving your family because you can't stick with a team, things like that. So, yeah, but yeah, he's young, man. The guy can run. He ran a 4.3 40, man. So the perfect guy for Michael Penix to get the ball down the field and showcase that arm. Overcome, I was asking how many are they looking? How are they looking out there? So far, like I said, only ones that we really heard about is James Pierce Jr. Wreaking havoc, causing scuffles. I think they got into two fights today, and James Pierce Jr. was the center of both of them, right? So he got into it with 3 offensive linemen: Caleb McGarry, Ryan Nuzul, and Matthew Bergeron. Matthew Bergeron always get into it with somebody. But you like that. James Pierce Jr. is making a name for himself. He had a great play on Kirk Cousins trying to throw a screen pass, showed a lot of his athleticism, jumped up and batted the ball down. So we know that both of those guys been running with the 1s and 2s, going rotating in and out. We haven't heard a lot about what Jalen Walker, made any plays. He didn't play today, so we'll see if he'll be back out there on Tuesday. But you know, James Pierce Jr. seems like he's trying to make his name, and just like Jeff Albrecht is talking about, creating that nasty aggression, ruthless aggression culture. That's what they want to have. So that's what we hope we can see. That's what we hope we can see. When you said, "Oh shit," I was rumbling with Gary. Yeah, that dude was the menace for yeah. Caleb McGarry is huge, man. Yeah, they'll have. They just go to show you, man. He ain't scared. He already getting that Luda in him. Ain't never scared. Move, get out the way, right? So, hey, Bone Crusher, I ain't never scared. So, James Pierce Jr. We haven't heard about the young rookies in the deep defensive backfield. But one thing about defense, right? One thing about defense, we're gonna start hearing more because when they start to get more physical, they can start putting their hands on you a little bit when they start putting pads on. And I think that was what a lot of the guys are waiting for. So that's what we like to see. That's definitely what we like to see. All right, so guys, camp standouts. Let me know if you heard of any other camp standouts besides the guys I talked about today. And the guys that I mentioned, Khalid Kareem, Natron Brooks, Mike Hughes, hopefully Mike Hughes don't be a camp standout. Hopefully he just do what he do because he's a starter, right? But those unsung hero guys, that's what I'm talking about. And we get some of those guys that we wasn't expecting to do something. That's when you find the diamonds in the rough, right? So that's what you gotta like. DJ can move to the outside, and Mooney can take Ray's spot. Right, we'll see, man. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with that because I know Cordell Hodge is getting more reps because Mooney out. And right now, DJ still learning the playbook. He mentioned that his head's kind of spinning, trying to get it in. He only been there 2 days, so you know, tomorrow because they got tomorrow off. Need to get into that playbook so they can start to filter him in and run some plays. So that's what we hope to see moving forward with DJ Chark. All right, next topic, which is interesting. Let's go here, guys, and that's the kicking game. So they finally kicked some field goals today, and it looked like Craig kicked Koo today. He went 5 for 5 on his kicks. Koo mixed some kicks today. We know that Raheem Marvis thinks a lot about Younghoe Koo, but Lenny Craig is really putting the pressure on him, right? I think he made over 50 plus yard field goals. He went 5 for 5. The 48 yard that Koo mixed, Lenny Craig came in and made the same kick. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Of course, this in practice. We got to see it in pretty sure preseason games. Craig gonna get his opportunity to show what he can do. Koo gonna get his opportunity to show what he can do as well. But I think it's really interesting, man, because you're not gonna just give a guy a job because he has that tenure. If he get out played and get out kicked in practice, and then he get out kicked in the games, the Atlanta Falcons got to make a choice, man. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm really interested to see what's gonna happen with this kicking game, moving forward. I really am. But the word on the street that Lenny Craig 5 for 5 a day, Koo made some kicks. So don't mean anything. Like I said, it's early, just day 4, but that is interesting when you start to think about, we missed 12 field goals last year, and we can't have a repeat of that, right? Because missing field goals lose you games. It's just that simple, right? We got to get back to when it was automatic. You get to a certain yard line, you had 3 already. We got 3. At least we got 3, right? You got to have that feeling again. If you're going to have somebody out there that's inconsistent, And that has not been Younghoe Koo since until last year, right? He started to be kind of inconsistent. So we don't want to have that happen. But Lenny Craig coming out going 5 for 5, Younghoe Koo missing a couple. That's not good. So it's early. I'm not gonna get too, in the weeks, but that's why you bring competition in. You know, don't let a guy think he's got it locked in and solidified at that spot, right? And that's why you like that. That shit, Koo been cut before he used to. Yeah, that's true. That's true. He knows the he said Lenny can hit from 60 foot. Yeah, man. He hit a 50. I think he hit a 56 today, they said. So that's like I said, man, Koo might be out the door. He really might be out the door, but we can't have a repeat of last year. Missed 12 field goals, and I can count 2 games the Atlanta Falcons could have won if they made the field goal. That Commanders game, it wasn't cool, but the kicker they brought in for cool, leg wasn't strong enough, right? It was straight, just didn't get the distance. Atlanta Falcons win before we don't even have to go to overtime, right? And then you look at the New Orleans Aints game, right? In New Orleans, Koo missed 3 field goals in that game. I think we lose by 4 points. So you make 2 field goals, who can win that game? So that's what I'm talking about. Like 2 games, we could be had 10 wins, and we could be hosting a playoff game. We can't have missed field goals, man. So it's gonna be really, really interesting on that and see how things turn out for Mr. Koo. That competition is probably gonna go down to the wire, and you got to like that. Um, 330 says, "What's up, Ricondo? What's up, man?" So, guys, what I'm gonna end off on, they just you know talking about some of the comments we heard. First comment, we talk about Mr. Arthur Blank talking about um how you know positive vibes he has about this team, right? He talked about the leadership from the personnel staff to the coaching staff. He really liked um, the coaches on the team, and then the players. I think they really believe that they got something in Michael Penix Jr. He mentioned if Michael Penix just can do what Matty Ice did, 14-year career, that would be solid, right? So Mr. Blank believes in this team, and it kind of reflects. We go back to when I first talked about the fans, right? Because the fans obviously believe in this team as well, right? He mentioned they had 5,000 fans out there yesterday, which is just insane, right? On that field, on that hill, um, that's insane in itself. So you love to hear stuff like that, but the 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 positivity that's flowing right now, right? The Atlanta Falcons need to feed off that. They need to build off that, right? One thing he mentioned was start to have a sustained team, a team that every year you suspect that team to be in the playoffs. And that's not what the Atlanta Falcons have had. So, you love the way this team being built with a lot of youth, right? It's a young team the Atlanta Falcons are having right now. From the quarterback to the skill positions. You look on the defensive side of the ball, a lot of young guys, the 2 draft classes that's could really, you know, elevate themselves this year. So I love what Mr. Arthur Blank had to say, and he believes that the team is going in the right direction, and it seems like um, the organization and the fans believe the same. So let's see what it turns out. Um, Listen to the general manager Terry Fontenot. We talked about him. Um, you know, he don't want to talk about expectations. He just want to go out and show it, right? Um, I feel like they put a good team together, but they don't mean nothing, right? We always hear they look good on paper. They look good on paper. We hear that about the Cowboys all the time. They look good on paper. That don't mean nothing, man. You got to get out. You got to get out and play, right? 7 years, guys. 2017. It's the last time the Falcons went to the playoffs. All right, so We don't want to hear they look good on paper anymore. They got to go out and deliver, right? Listen to the players, the coaches. Um, Jeff Albrook talking about his culture change they're trying to bring. You love that. Um, Dwayne Ledford love the fact that he's been here long enough that at this point it's like not it's like a machine, man. The offensive line like a machine. And in fact, they only had to replace one guy, but let's be honest, the guy that they're replacing with played half of the season, so it's not like it's a new, a new person coming in there anyway. So I love what Dwayne Leffert had to say. So this team right now is right where they want need to be in day 4 of training camp. Let's just say that you're not going to put a lot of expectations, or they're going to be, you know, Super Bowl champs and nothing like that. That's not what you need to be talking about this time of the year, right? It's time of the year. It's time about getting better, um, stacking days, and developing the identity. Something that Raheem Morris don't like to talk about. He expect the team to develop their own identity, and that's what we hope to do, right? That's what we hope that's going to happen. So, um, hopefully, they continue to go upward in their trajectory from what we've been seeing. Um, all positive things. Even after yesterday, we heard about all the drops. I think what I didn't hear was a lot of missed throws and things like that. That's what it would have been bad. So it seemed like, you know, the ball was getting there. They just, they got to secure the ball, and that's what needs to happen. So that's why I felt better, and then, you know, I think it was three, yeah, 3 years ago now, right? We talked about Desmond Ritter, and the whole thing was we haven't seen Desmond Ritter complete a deep ball down the field, right? I don't know if you guys remember that, right? And it was, oh man, that don't mean nothing, but we don't heard about Michael Penix completed like 5 or 6 deep balls down the field already, right? So I guess it does mean something. We start thinking about it. So, um, man, it's night and day. So you gotta love that. Millie Mill says, I can't help but laugh. James Pierce Jr. came in and showed Caleb McGarry why he trash. Hey, we're gonna find out, man. That that's one thing. Let's talk about the whole blind side thing, right? But I kind of agree with them to the point where only time it's gonna affect, Michael Penix blind side is where he's under center, right? And he's under center and he's running a play action pass or something like that. And now the blind side come into effect, right? Because he's under center. But you put him in a shotgun and a pistol, right? It's a little different because he can already see a little bit coming from. So it's not really blind, even though he's throwing left-handed and he's looking this way. You kind of can see a little bit. So we're gonna this whole judgment and see. Maybe Kelly McGarrett got better, man. We know he's a dog in the run game, but let's see, hopefully he got better in the pass game. Uh, if Michael Penix Jr. gets that championship for the Falcon, Mr. Blaine will put MPG in his will. What's funny, man? You know, he's going. I think he says he's going on 24 years, but Arthur Blank, Jerry Jones. All right, who's going to get the championship next? All right, both of those guys are old. Um, the Cowboys think they're gonna win it every year, of course, but um, who's gonna get it first? Arthur Blank or Jerry Jones? Man, both of those guys are old. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, man. Yep, man. So, guys, there you have it, man. Like I said, day 4 training camp. I honestly want to thank the everybody that's reporting what's happening on the field, right? Because if it weren't for those guys, we wouldn't really know. Just to be honest with you, we'll be, kind of in the dark. But that's why you like the media. I love our content creator that's out there, doing keeping us informed, letting us know what's going on. Um, I missed it, man. I'm kind of sad because I missed this weekend, but because it seemed like you guys had fun. So, but I will be out there definitely on Tuesday, first day of padded practice. I can't wait to be out there. We'll see who's else going to be out there as well. But guys, there you have it. Let me know what you think about day 4. Are you feeling the good vibes like I'm feeling from the offense, defense, the competition that's already started in the kicking game, right? 2 fights already broken out with the same guy, James Pierce Jr. You love that, right? You don't want nobody to get hurt, but you love that they care that much that they get into it already. So you love the fact that the offense was pissed off yesterday because they didn't play well. So you just like all that stuff, right? Because that means that it's a care factor that's there, right? That's what you want to see. So um, Billy Mills said they put the pass on Tuesday, right? 100%. It's time to do this thing, man. So can't wait. I know you guys can't wait either. They don't got acclimated. It's past time. So let's see what happens. But guys, there you have it. This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.